Hey, welcome to the homestead. So glad you could make it. Got some things to do today. So, first thing though is to unload some sheetrock from my truck. I picked some up at work the other day, some damaged sheets. Got them for, I don't know, $4.50 a sheet, something like that. And they're not too bad. A couple of them have cracks in on the ends, and then I think one or two have the corners dinged up, just like sheetrock gets when you move it around a lot at a lumber store. Anyway, it's in the back of my truck. It did rain last night. Okay, it didn't rain. It sprinkled for a little bit. It seems to be fine. I checked it this morning. So we'll unload it. We'll go put it in the cottage. And then I think we're going to get started doing some sheetrocking. Okay. I'm not sure what happened. I think I forgot to hit the record button and then unloaded the truck. Anyway, I came back to chat with you about unloading the truck and walking all the way across the property. And the camera was dead. So apparently I forgot to hit the record button. There you go. But as you can see, truck's unloaded and it's all the way over there. Okay, you can't see all the way over there, but you will. Trust me. All right. We're at the cottage that needs the sheetrock, so I need to move some stuff out of it to make room to work. We've got all the cardboard in there that we use for insulation and just some other stuff. So we'll get that emptied out real quick and get started. I've been doing a lot, and I mean a lot, of pondering on how to attack this back wall with the shelves already on it. It's not going to be a simple thing, but I guess the only way to do it is just do it by level, right? Try to get as far across as I can. And then, you know, the plan is I'm going to cut, at least my plan is I'm going to cut the horizontal cut so that it would fit up underneath the next shelf. There are braces, however, that come down at every 2x4. So I'm going to have to notch out for those braces. There's no simple way to do this. I'm just convinced there's just no simple way to do this. Is this going to take longer than I think it should? It's already taken longer than I think it should because I've just been standing here going, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Guess my head's just not in the game. But it needs to get in the game. We need to get this done. So I'm going to do some measuring, throw a piece of sheetrock on the floor, do some cutting, fitting, cutting, fitting, cutting, fitting, screw it on the wall. That's the plan. Just going to start with that. I'm going to go up 33.5. That'll put it right behind this board here. And then kind of stand it up in there and do some marking and then some trimming. And hopefully it won't take too long. But I need an 8-foot piece. That's the bottom row of sheetrock in. Gosh, I just know this takes me way longer than it would a professional. Way longer, because I'm not a professional, but that's okay. I mean, I'm getting it done, and it's not costing me professional prices, so there you go. Anyway, I'm going to go take a little water break, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yes, I had a little 15-minute, maybe 20-minute nap. I got woke up by the silly dog whining and whining and whining outside. I couldn't figure out why. So I got up, went outside, and he had his nose stuck underneath the wooden sidewalk we have by the RV. And you could tell he'd been digging there. And I asked Brenda, I said, what is going on? And she said, well, one of the kittens is underneath the sidewalk asleep. And he's worried about it. And it won't come out. That dog cares a lot for those kittens. I tell you, he's funny. He was so upset she had to finally take him inside. There's nothing wrong with the dog or with the cat. The cat's fine. He's just sleeping. And Brenda went to take a picture of the kitten under there to make sure it was okay. And little Lacey, she just wanders around under there. It's no big deal for her. She's so small. And anyway, quite the giggle. Never a dull moment around here, except sheetrocking. Anyway, I'm going to put the screws in this sheetrock that I got up underneath this shelf, and then I'm going to move on to sheetrock still, yes, because that needs to get done. But something else, something that's not going to be so tedious as cutting out around all those little shelf brackets and all that stuff. Maybe I'll do a big piece on this wall or do the upper piece on that wall. I'm not sure. Put the cardboard in that wall. One of those things. But for the moment, I'm going to put the screws in that sheetrock so that it stays in place so that we can pack it with cardboard and foam or whatever we put in there. So let's do that. what sheetrock to do. I just don't know. I need to get out of here for a minute though, because it's hot. Really hot. I have a window open and the door's open and there's no breeze coming through here at all. So I'm going to go sit out there under the fan for a little bit, cool down, ring out, change my microphone batteries, and come back. Okay, well, I've taken my break, ate a cucumber, cooled down, decided I just don't want to do any more sheetrock. So I'm calling it a day. Sure appreciate you watching though. God bless you. We'll see you next time on the homestead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share it with your friends, and leave me a comment. I appreciate the comments. For those that leave them, thank you very much. For those that don't, leave me a comment. Bye now.